Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, I just did a video nicely trashing some of my exes. So, I didn't trash them. I was nice. I was real nice. So we thought we'd tell you how the two of us actually met. It's not your typical romance, I would
No,
say.
it's not. And we had a few people that asked us.
A couple people had asked.
Which I was totally flattered that people were interested in that. They're like, "How did you meet?" You know, like,
Well,
we thought it'd be cute to answer the question.
Well, I ask anyone now and they say, what? Tinder, Grindr.
I know, right?
Know.
Yeah.
I was at this trough at a gay bar.
I remember when that was like all taboo. Meeting someone online was so taboo, and now it's like the way
you met them in a bar, you don't even know them.
I know.
And now it's like if you swipe the right way. Anyway, so we met on November 2nd, 2010.
Wow.
That was, yeah. I remember the date. And the reason I remember the date is because I was in rehab. And you were too.
Yep, I arrived on that day, I guess. I don't remember the exact day, but yeah, I arrived on that day.
Well, you were
in 2 days after Halloween. I do remember that.
Yeah. And I had been there for a month, I think, at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was with the other token gay guy there. It was a little rehab. There was like 18 of us, all guys in a house.
Small. It was
small as hell.
Horrible.
Long days. Yeah. Oh, it's enough.
It was my worst rehab experience ever.
I know. The fact that we have so many to compare it to is sad.
But it's the one that worked. So.
Thank you to the American taxpayer and the fine folks at Geisinger, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and everybody else who has...
I think I had Aetna at that time.
Who has supplied resources and funds. We hope that we are paying it back now by being good citizens.
Oh yeah, what, 8 years now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been good. We've been good.
Oh,
we pay taxes, we vote, we do all that
Work.
stuff. But at any rate, I was outside having a cigarette and I come in and there's this guy sitting in the intake chair and you were wearing wind pants, a windbreaker, Jesus sandals, and you had Bon Jovi hair.
You remember what I was wearing? Oh my God.
I do. And me and the other gay guy were going back and forth going, you think he's gay? You think he's gay? You think he's gay?
Oh my God. The other gay guy was what?
Steve.
He was
another Steve.
Yes.
God bless him. He was, yeah, he was funny as hell.
That could be a whole other video, but anyway.
Yeah, he was a crackhead. He was addicted to crack.
The only thing I remember
But if you want to paint a mental picture, think crackhead. So... At any rate,
we used an alias.
Yeah, his name's not really Steve.
Yeah.
We were chit-chatting, and we go outside to have a smoke, and we start talking, and I think I'd asked you what's your favorite music, and you said Madonna, and I'm like, gay. Gay. He's gay. So...
I said Madonna, really?
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that was easy. That was easy. So, we...
I do. I am a fan.
Yeah, I know.
Say what you want about Madonna, but I grew up with her. I came out with her. She's always been there in the background. I do like a lot of her music, so I am a fan.
I'm more of a Gaga guy myself.
I mean, I love Gaga, but
Madonna.
She goes to my roots. I mean, really. I mean,
so
really. But anyway,
so for the next rehab is kind of routine. So we kind of just went through the motions of all our groups. We were in the same small therapy group. Yeah. With a couple other guys. And so you get to know each other real fast because you tell all your dirty secrets in rehab. So you feel really close. And we kind of isolated ourselves a little bit from everybody else. Like, we'd go to, they made us go to church. Well, they didn't make us go to church. They just made you feel like shit if you didn't. Yeah. So we would go to church and we'd sit together. And we'd go to AA meetings and we'd sit together. Mm. And then you left before me.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I... did so well.
You finished. You completed. You didn't go against medical advice.
No. No, I didn't. No, I did all the requirements.
Mm-hmm. And I was inconsolable.
The only thing I remember about my first day there was sitting in that chair and looking around and thinking, I'm at the Bates Motel. Yeah, like the house on the hill. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was literally a house that they had turned into like a rehab, but it still looked like a house. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was winter and it was hot as hell in the house and freezing cold outside. And we were all confined in this house all day long. I mean, I hated that experience. Did you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I hated it.
I was there.
If there was any questions, I hated it.
I was there twice as long as you.
Yeah, I know you were.
I was. So
more help than I did.
some of us are sicker than others. So,
but anyway, the only thing I remember is definitely I was sitting in that chair, and I remember I was looking down like this, and I remember meeting you, and that you were the first person I had met there, and I was like, but that was it for me. Like that was it. I had other things on my mind, and
you were trying to recover. And
I was
stuff.
and I was kind of tired by that point, and I the following 2-3 months afterwards, we did spend a lot of time together. You became a very, very good friend there, and I was literally like broke, and he would keep me in cigarettes. I remember that specifically. I think they gave us like 6 a day or something, and they were like the rollies.
Which was nice for a rehab.
It was nice for a rehab, yeah. And but Mom and Dad would send you tobacco and cigarettes and stuff, and he always made sure I had cigarettes, and but I had no inkling that he was interested in me or liked me or anything. I really didn't. It
all started to come to a head. It was like the week before you left, and I had told one of the technicians there, nice guy with a neck that wouldn't move. I had said, look, I have a crush on Mark. I said, it's not a rehab romance. We're not dipping in and out of the bathroom, but I have feelings for him, and I don't think he knows I exist. Should I tell him? What do I do? And he said, just shut up and let it go. Pretty much. And he gave me one of those motherly talks, like, if it's real, it'll be there. He was right.
He was right.
So I shut up and kept it to myself. And then the last day before you leave, we all sit in a circle and tell you what we really think of you. So we did this to Mark, and then he left, didn't even wave goodbye, left, and me and other Steve, alias Steve, sat there, and we were inconsolable. I care. That's why I remember.
Oh, my goodness.
Boom.
Oh, we're not going there, because I could pull out a list. We're not going there.
Go ahead. We're not going there. Don't worry, I make up.
Because later on, we're going to see,
don't worry.
Who cares and who doesn't care.
No, because remember, later, I was out of commission for the following year. So I finish up treatment there, and I go to a halfway house, and I think you did too.
I did. I completed treatment, and I went to a halfway house, but a different halfway house.
A different one. You were like across the state from where I was.
Yeah, I was in lovely Altoona.
You weren't seeing I was in Wilkes-Barre. God, the whole city is a freaking dirty dime bag. But I I was there for 3 months, and we just wrote letters.
Yeah, we kept in contact the whole time. Well, I remember leaving, and I remember being like, thank God I'm leaving. And it was sad because I met some friends, there. I didn't think anything more of it at that time, but I do remember he said the night before I was leaving, you know what, you're leaving tomorrow. Can I have a kiss goodnight? You remember that?
Vaguely.
See? Who cares?
I didn't say no.
Who cares? I remember our literal first kiss, and it was that night.
Was it a kiss on the cheek?
No, it was a peck on the lips. It was like that.
Oh.
So, would you say boom? Boom.
Whatever.
And then you climbed up into your...
I've had nothing but disabled roommates in every treatment center I've been. I slept in a bunk bed for 6 months.
I had the bottom. In a different room. But
I was dying. I was dying of addiction. I was lucky to be where I was.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, bunk beds, too. I was 270 pounds.
Yeah.
Climbing into a bunk bed is tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
So we wrote back and forth. We kept some letters. You eventually did a couple other rounds of things, and you ended up in Wilkes-Barre too. You ended up at that halfway house.
I did. I did relapse after that trip, but one time, and I immediately I went back into treatment, and I ended up at the halfway house that he was at the year before.
Which, from where I was living at the time with my parents, was only about a 40-minute drive.
Yeah, it was in Wilkes-Barre, and I went there and I completed that, and all the while we kept in contact, through letters and the occasional phone call.
Yeah, once in a while there'd be a phone call. I don't remember much of that year, because right when I was leaving from that halfway house in spring, so that was 2010 when we met, we're into 2011, I relapsed as soon as I left, and then drank that entire summer going into the fall. So by the fall, when you would come to that halfway house, I had either hidden it poorly, you knew and didn't care.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know.
I was a pretty good... Well, it was on the phone. I mean,
yeah, we were on the phone and letters. I really didn't know.
When we'd go to visit him, my parents would take me down. The deal was I had to be sober a couple days before we could go. So
I do remember he came and visited me.
So I would dry out for like 2 or 3 days first, and that was my parents' kind of rule, or else I couldn't go.
And we went to the park and we walked around, and we went to Kmart that got totally flooded during that awful flood.
Yeah.
And that was a nice day.
That was a nice day. And then you left there, and I don't know where you went after.
I left there. I graduated from there, and I got an apartment.
Oh, that's right.
Still in Wilkes-Barre in the little town of Kingston. And things did not work out there. And you came to visit me there. I had no furniture and nothing except for a blow-up mattress on the floor and a tiny little TV.
No, and you left in the middle of my visit.
I did. I left him there at the apartment and left, you know. It was an emergency back home at that time. You know, my father was still living at that time, my stepfather. Mm-hmm. And he had a heart attack and then ultimately died. But, you know, but I did leave, and I remember it was snowing that day. And I remember I'm really, really sorry. And, you know, what's funny, in the back of my head, I still didn't know that you liked me at all. I thought we were friends. And I have to say, when we were laying in the blow-up mattress watching Scream 4 on
and you
were
having
TV,
and you were eating Tostitos scoops dipped in, and you were scooping up crumbled feta with it. I don't know why.
I can't believe you
and I was
stuff.
Eating. I have an eating disorder. I couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't tell you your middle name, but I could tell you everything we ate for the past 5 years.
Yes, that's true. Anyway,
go ahead.
You know, and I thought you were trying to rub up against me.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I thought so, but
we had never been alone.
No, we
had been in treatment or stayed with my
parents.
And
I remember inching away a little bit to give you room. I remember keeping it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, I did leave. I left and I went to Pittsburgh. And still at that time, even though I was clean technically about 6 months at that point, I still in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, good, I can go back to Pittsburgh and I can cop. You know, I can relapse, because at that point I was like, I didn't like where I lived. I didn't know what I was going to do. And that's what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't. I ended up coming back. But, you know, it's funny how that works. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted.
Where was I?
I don't know.
I
have no idea. But anyway,
you started your comings and goings at that point because you were living in the apartment.
I wanted out of that apartment. I asked you if I could come and visit you and stay for a couple days. Yeah. And you said yes. So I came to your home. Mm-hmm. And I stayed for a couple of nights. And I remember meeting your mom, and your mom had the table all fixed up with the lace tablecloth that she only puts out for guests. And we all ate at the dinner table, which doesn't happen.
No.
Except for guests. No. And it was nice. It was nice from the get-go. I felt comfortable. The second I was in there, I did feel comfortable. A little bit awkward, but I mean comfortable, you know. Yeah. And I stayed in the guest bedroom, and I stayed for a few days, and then I was really trying to keep my word. I didn't want to overstay my welcome, so I went. I think that's the time that I was trying to secure a job in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And the guy said yes, you know, and so I went to Pittsburgh and tried that out, and that didn't work.
And I cried for 3 days after you left.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
No.
You know.
And then you came back.
I feel bad. I'm sorry.
Well, it worked out.
I didn't mean it.
Well, you didn't know.
Well, anyway, we're taking too long.
So you left and came back again.
I came back because that did not work out. And I remember walking down the street downtown Pittsburgh and saying, you know, what had happened? And it's all, you know, can I come back? And I remember you put me on hold and asked your mom.
Yeah.
And they said yes, and I came back.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be just for a month or so.
Yeah, it was just, I'm like, maybe just for a couple weeks to get my feet on the ground, you know. I'm not going to try to actively you know, get an apartment, and you know. And,
long story short, he stayed for 2 years.
I did. Well, actually, really, 7 years if you count.
If you count all of it.
All of it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what was supposed to be for 2 weeks to a month was years.
years.
But I do remember the first time that I had feelings for you. Mm-hmm. I had a job in town at that restaurant. They called right away. I remember I got a job right away after and I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. Maybe I'll spend the summer.
Yeah.
You know. And I ended up staying there for 6 years. But, and I was walking home. It was very, very close. So I would walk to work. We didn't have a car at that time. Mm-hmm. And I remember, you know, and this is a year later or so. I mean, this is a while later. We weren't together. We didn't mess around. It was nothing. I mean,
no, there wasn't.
I was oblivious.
There wasn't even like friends with benefits, like none of that.
No, I'm not that type of a guy.
Yeah.
But I do remember he did say, look, you know what, I have nothing to lose. I just got to tell you I have feelings for you. And I was like, oh, God, this is going to change things. I live here. What's going to happen? Because by this point, I'm sleeping in his bedroom. He had a futon, and I had the mattress that
you slept on the floor.
Pulled out, yeah. But nothing ever happened. Everything like, oh, God. So anyway, some time went on, and I was walking home, and it was snowing out, and I remember that you had went out the night before. I got home from work the night before, and you weren't home, and that was very unusual for you. Mm-hmm. You were always home, always, you know, and you weren't home the night before, and I didn't think anything of it, and he said some kind of stupid thing like, oh, I was at the gym. I got home at 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night, and I was at the gym, and I was like, yeah, right, okay, but I didn't care or anything, you know, but then the next day I was coming home, I'm like, I wonder if he's going to be home, and I'm like, oh, I hope he's home, and I'm like, what if he's not home? And then I'm like, I started to feel jealous. And then I'm like, oh my God, I have feelings. There's feelings?
You caught feelings.
I caught feelings, and then...
You tripped over a puddle and fell into some feelings.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, now what?
Now, I let me ask you this. Would you have had feelings for me if I hadn't had them for you first?
Probably not, because that's the way things were. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, that, I just... You know, when you're in recovery and you're trying to do that, for me was not what I was working on at that time. So, no, I probably wouldn't have, you know, because I probably would have done what my plans were. My plans were always to get back on my feet and move back to the city. Yeah. You know, I think I was going to go to Philly or you know, I wanted to go to Phoenix. I made it to Phoenix, but came back because that didn't work out. But that was years earlier. Look, we're backtracking. But anyway, that was years earlier. And so, you know, not until I caught feelings that I really, you know, plan on staying. Mm-hmm. And then, 2014, it just happened.
Yeah. 2012, I got my stuff back together.
Yep.
And then started working, got sane. You've seen all my other videos, and if you haven't, go see them. And then we became official in April 2014?
Yeah.
And then we moved into this apartment in September of 2014. Yeah. And we've been here since.
Yeah. And it was nice. And I remember the first kiss where there was no turning back. It was in your bedroom. And your mom was downstairs, and it was all like...
Oh, it was like being in high school.
It was, wasn't it? I know. And I remember that kiss much more than the first kiss. And I remember just... It felt good, and it felt right, and I was one of those people that thought that would never happen to me, and I was totally fine with it. Mm. I was totally fine being completely independent, and then when we got together, I was the one that had feelings, and I was jealous, and I was all these crazy feelings came out. I never was like that.
I know. I used to chew the ear off of my friend Margaret at work and be like, "Where is he going? Where has he been? What is he doing?" Peeking over shoulders, looking at text messages.
Before we were together.
Oh, I was doing all this to myself. I was
didn't know torturing myself.
And then we get together, and he's doing it to me.
I was.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
So suspicious.
And Margaret was like, "Careful what you wish for." Oh my God. Thanks, Margaret.
Oh my God, I wanted to look at his phone so bad.
But a good...
it was awful.
But so we did some couples therapy. And
we did, actually.
And actually, it really helped. We've been really good ever since.
Oh.
Enough that they were like, you don't worry about coming back.
Yeah. You know, it was, for me, it was meant to be. For me, the choice was made for me. I have gratitude. I mean, I have gratitude every day for my relationship. I mean, I do. So
I do too.
No.
So that's it. That's
it.
So all the advice that you get about don't get together with someone in rehab is very good advice. Don't do this. But if you get your shit together and you run into each other later, maybe.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we didn't get together in rehab. We met in rehab.
You know, he went his way, I went mine, and then we tried it out.
And we were friends first, and then it worked, and it did work. This is 5 years later now, and you know, we may have some challenges, medical challenges, financial challenges.
We're back.
We're back!
And we switched sides and deliberately made some really poor lighting. Yeah, it cut off.
Well, we got cut off.
We talked too much. But yes.
I was going to...
So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. We're very happy. We're happy together. Da, 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 da.
We're still together, by the way.
Yeah, we're still together.
Yeah.
I just bring them on for views. So. please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave some comments, and we'll catch up with y'all soon.
That's all we had to record?
That's all we had to record.
What?
Otherwise, it's just, let's just
like
talk.
We're talking and then...
then it just cuts off.
Oh,
and then you don't thank them for watching, and then you don't remind them and invite them to come back.
No, there had to be a tie.
Otherwise, it's just blah, 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 bye. So, thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.